Hey everyone, now getting on top of your SharePoint site permissions and automatic labeling settings are two key steps in ensuring success when you adopt Microsoft 365 Copilot. That's the topic of today's video. Let's jump straight in. Now, I'm willing to bet that the vast majority of SharePoint sites within your tenant today are set to everyone except external user access. Now, that's great. That means that all users have access to all information across those SharePoint sites and can utilize Copilot to query information across those sites and return results. Now, where that becomes a challenge, of course, is if we have SharePoint sites that not all users should have access to, such as HR or finance. We're going to want to go ahead and remove that everyone except external user permission and lock that site down so only those specific users that require access to that site have access to it. Now, it's important to remember that Copilot doesn't grant any additional user permissions to any documents and data within your org. If a user today doesn't have access to HR or finance information within SharePoint, Copilot won't grant them access to that information, even if the user directly queries Copilot about information contained within that site. Nothing's going to be returned. So a good starting point is the SharePoint Administrator Portal within the M365 Admin Center. From here, you can see an overview of each SharePoint site within your tenant, as well as view its current members, those who have access to read and write documents and data within that site, as well as site administrators and owners. If you want to edit permissions for any of these sites, you can do so here from within the properties of each site. Now, if a SharePoint site contains that everyone except external users group, remember that means that everyone within your tenant today currently has access to that SharePoint site. If you want to remove the default everyone access, simply remove the user group from the site members list. Of course, this is quite simple. If you have a small number of sites, you can do it directly from the SharePoint Administrator Center. If you have a large number of sites, you can achieve the same result with PowerShell, which will enable you to scan your entire SharePoint directory, figure out which of those sites have that everyone permission set, and then systematically enable you to remove that all at once without having to work your way through each and every one of those sites. Now, if you do have many SharePoint sites across your org, you may have that challenge of not knowing who should have access to what. If you're not sure who should have access, you can use the Identity Governance Access Reviews within Azure to query each site owner and ask them to review the current SharePoint site member list. The Access Review enables you to send each site owner a request to review the membership list of each of the sites that they're responsible for. They can then utilize that tool to flag any user that needs to be removed from that site. We'll go ahead and choose all users for our scope search, and we'll then ensure our group owners are selected as the reviewers. Now, these group owners will receive an email asking them to review each member of the team and flag anyone that needs to be removed. Once you've set the duration, occurrence, and start date, you can choose to either automatically apply the reviewer's results and remove anyone flagged from the team, or choose to review the responses and take action yourself. If you're using labels to control access to documents, check to ensure the label is configured with encryption enabled and to only grant access to specific users that require that access. And lastly, automatic labeling allows you to apply configured labels to content automatically across M365 based on either predefined rules like matching credit card numbers or other predefined rules. You can also configure your own custom rules as well. Of course, these are just some of the ways to get you started thinking about security and governance when it comes to adopting Microsoft Copilot in your environment. If you like this kind of content, be sure to subscribe and don't forget to hit that notification bell as well so you're notified of new content. Until the next video, thanks for watching.